Hey, what's up, garden friends?
How's everybody doing?
I hope you're good. I am great.
How could I not be great when I got a plant haul to do? I was at the Home Depot right after they got some plants in, and I went ahead and stocked up while they were fresh.
This time of year where I live, right around mid-January, a lot of the nurseries are closed, and the big box stores, mainly Home Depot and Lowe's, they're not getting a ton of plants in right now. They probably won't be for several more weeks, so you kind of have to strike while the iron's hot. Because I have like lots of arrangements and some terrarium type things I want to get into within the next few weeks, so I need to stock up on plants anyways. Just a few, not a ton. I mean, there's actually a bunch of plants here. You'll see. I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. So for starters, I have this Dieffenbachia. They say the variety is compacta here. I don't know if that's true or not. Go ahead and type these out on the screen just to make them easier to see. But it's just a nice little plant, a good plant to have as a centerpiece and a houseplant arrangement. Pretty simple plant. Nice variegation in the leaves. Just Oh no, I'm sorry. A nice, easy plant to have around the house. Easy house plants, great for arrangements, but very toxic, so not great to be around animals or children. But yeah, this isn't a care video. I'm just gonna kind of show off some of the stuff I got. Talk about why I think they're pretty. Hey, next up is a Dracaena. I call this one Janet Craig-Compacta. It's a Dracaena deremensis. Really common house plant, lovely glossy foliage. This plant keeps getting bigger. It'll get a lot larger than this. But it's a really easy and forgiving plant. I like them in arrangements because it's something you can stick in that has a nice rosette shape to it, which is something I like with succulent arrangements. They have a nice glossy foliage to them, and when they're smaller, when it's just the top of the plant that hasn't started to trunk out, they kind of resemble a bromeliad. That dark green glossy foliage, the rosette shape, like I said, the resemblance to bromeliad, repeating myself, it adds a lushness that I really appreciate. Especially if you hardscape your arrangement with rocks and things like that, looks really nice. And who doesn't love an ivy? This is the little Herman Ivy. It has nice variegated foliage. Leaves are more narrow, which I like. They kind of help add a light, airy texture to an arrangement. Also nice to have them to trail over the side of a pot. And they're variegated. Who doesn't love that? Things are looking pretty basic over here, but I still like it. Speaking of texture, look at this dragon's tongue. Excuse you, you already had your moment. This is the Hemigraphis repanda. Very pretty dark green foliage with purpley burgundy, kind of a, what is that, Bordeaux colored undertone to the foliage. Good foreground plant to have. I mean, in the beginning, these do grow. They are easy to divide, so from this one plant, I will probably, more than likely, be able to get about 3 clusters out of it, which is awesome. That's something I really like to see. Always nice to be able to get more bang for your buck that way. You can kind of spread them around, place them in different nooks and crannies. Really nice plant. Oh, she's so pretty. It's a fern. Not just any fern, but a rabbit's foot fern. They have these lovely aerial fuzzy roots that come out that are just so pretty. Over time, they drape over the sides of the pots. I like rabbit's foot ferns a lot. As far as indoor ferns go, not the hardest to keep alive. Sometimes they get a little bit fussy with me, but that's usually just because the air gets kind of dry here in the winter time. Out here in my grow space should do well. I don't think that this is one that's going to be put into any type of arrangement or anything like that. I just kind of want to grow this one, appreciate it as it is, because I love ferns. I love the uniqueness of this fern. The little, look at, I mean, it's just so, there's just so much character to this fern. With the intricate, I mean, very typical fern type of foliage, but it is heavily lobed along those fronds, and the nice, fun, velvety roots. They're so neat. That is one I could talk about for a very long time. The Gynura aurantiaca-Purple, or however you pronounce that, it'll be typed out. These are fun plants. Sometimes they give me a little bit of trouble in the heat of the summer when I move them outside, but overall as a house plant, not too hard to keep. They have what I think is some of the neatest foliage. The foliage almost has a hairy texture to it, and it reflects the light almost like a multichrome or duochrome quality, where as you move it, the colors shift a little bit in the light. There aren't a lot of plants that do that because of those little hairs along the leaves. That's what allows them to sort of shift in the light, because they reflect light at different angles. So as you look at it differently, it looks a little bit different. It just varies from that kind of emerald to the purple, but it's really pretty. It's another nice plant to have with certain types of arrangements because it adds that texture and pop of color that's really nice. And they just make a fun houseplant. They're just kind of fun to have. Okay, what's next? Syngonium. I say it like I didn't know I had it. I have them in a bin next to me. I'm just sort of reaching in and pulling them out, so it's a little bit of a surprise when I pulled it up. I grabbed 2 of these guys. I mean, there's 2 here, obviously, because I want one for the arrangements and I want to use another one in an aquaculture type of setting. You can see I have that one back there in the filter. I just wanted to put another one in there that has a little bit more color to it. These particular Syngoniums have really nice dark foliage. The tag calls it the Maria Arrowhead plant. Again, it's all about the foliage. Really pretty dark bronzy foliage on there. Kind of like with the Dracaena, they're nice to have around for some height. Something to have as a centerpiece so you can plant lots of little things around it, which I like. And they're a different color. They're not just like your basic green. The undersides of the leaves aren't really anything magnificent. Sometimes when you have foliage that's darker on top, you get kind of a nice contrast on the bottom. Not as much with these, but it is fun that when the new foliage emerges from this one, it comes out this really pretty, more of a, what is that, like an orangey red kind of color. Like a flamethrower palm, but not at all. I also really like how red the stems are. It's just like my overall theme here that I really like with plants is contrast, and there's a lot of that going on here. And again, just so easy. Who doesn't love easy plants? And here's a Teardrop Peperomia, typical Peperomia Orba. This one right here, its leaves are drooping a little bit. The soil's a little bit cold, I guess from being on that truck, and kind of damp. So I am going to move this to a spot where it's going to dry out very quickly. This isn't a plant that likes to stay sopping wet. This Peperomia has really nice variegated foliage. It does kind of have a silvery reflective hue to it, though kind of hard to see on camera. I can't actually even tell if that's in focus. But I like the shine and the sparkle along with the variegation. Makes for a really pretty plant. And you know, Peperomias, they're just sort of fun to have around as houseplants. Even though this one had some broken foliage, I went for the ones that had the most plants in the pots and that felt sturdy. Sometimes when I'm picking out the plants that are like at the bulk stores, at the big stores, I'll give them a little tug to make sure that they're rooted in really, really well. I've had plenty of occasions where I've picked up a new plant and then brought it home and realized that like it was practically a fresh cutting, which really shouldn't happen. If I'm spending the money, you better do the rooting for me. That's the way I feel about it. There's 4 plants in here and they're all really pretty. Divide those up and have fun with them. Oh, Rex Begonias. This is a pretty common variety when it comes to the Rex Begonias. I don't know the name off the top of my head, and it's not labeled. It's just labeled as a Rex Begonia, but it's one of the more common ones that you see around. And again, its foliage is a little bit droopy, but it should perk back up now that it's here in the grow space and things are kind of nice and warm and toasty for it. Its soil's not as damp as the others, which is great because I don't want this to rot out on me. Not that I would want any of my plants to rot out. Rex Begonias make really fun house plants. They have really nice color, nice texture along the edges of their leaves. Again, there is a slight shimmer to the foliage. Not very much, though. It's not very noticeable. You can kind of see it. Whoa, hold still. You can kind of see it down here in this leaf where it's angled a little bit better. They're fairly easy plants, though, as long as they don't get overwatered. That's usually when I have an issue with them. It's because I end up watering them too much, so I just have to remember to like stay back and let it chill, to not let it get too cold either, or too hot. Where were these fun crimson-y colors when I was doing Christmas arrangements? That would have been nice to have had for those Christmas arrangements. Very holiday-ish, but hey, Valentine's Day's coming up. Might work for something with that too. Lastly, I've got a Fittonia, or actually, there's 3 of them. I love the details on the foliage of these guys. They called this variety Pink Angel, and another more common variety is just the green and white variegation. I like the one with the red a little bit more, so they're both really pretty. This one even has a nice flower stalk coming up on it, which is nice. It's a sign of a good, healthy plant. These are fun to have to put in the foreground of plantings because they stay kind of low but spread out. I like them because they sort of add a similar interest to that of like the polka dot plants. They're a little bit less fussy, or in my experience, much less fussy. The downfall of these guys is usually overwatering. They pair up really well with a lot of the other plants I got because they like low light. Fun, low maintenance plants. Again, it's all about that contrast and variegation with me. It just adds a nice element, a nice pop, makes things stand out. And even the underside of the foliage is pretty cool. I mean, really nothing unique, but the veins are really thick and heavy. And I think it's really cool how the insides of the stems, or really not the insides, but just the stems, they have that fun hair on them. Just because, you know, texture. All about texture and contrast with me. Alright, that's gonna do it though. That's everything. It's a nice variety of stuff that I'll be able to incorporate into some planters and some arrangements over the next few weeks. I was happy the store had such a nice selection of things that have texture, and not just texture, but really nice colors. Colors that really help add a lot of contrast to things. Oftentimes when I'm at the stores trying to find little plants to do little arrangements with, it's a lot of green. And sometimes that's not even the issue. Sometimes it's just little bitty plants that get really big. Like they'll have like little crotons and things like that, which are nice to have in arrangements, but they'll get very large. And some of these will too, particularly the Dracaena back here. It says compacta on it. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, you know, I just realized I forgot something. A fern, and a very pretty fern too. I don't have it actually planted up in there. I don't think that this could handle that kind of weight. I just sort of stuck it in there for fun. This is a maidenhair fern though. They stand out by having the longer stems on them. Okay, this isn't gonna work, is it? You can see nice long stems on them with 3 fronds. 3 long fronds that kind of come out the end. These do get fairly tall. It'll come up and stand up above other things, which looks really nice. And again, I mean, it's just a fern. They're just lush and pretty and just a type of plant I like to have in my life. Not a crazy variety though. Not always the easiest fern for me indoors because they are kind of picky with their moisture and humidity and everything, as are most ferns. This one was really nicely established and seems pretty healthy. So I was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead, give this guy a shot and work it into a forest type planter that I'm planning on doing. Okay, now I'm done. Just a bunch of fun plants. Can't wait to get working with them. I actually have an order coming in that has more plants that are going to incorporate very nicely with these. And those will be in the videos when I start to actually plant these up and arrange them. You guys been picking up any fun house plants lately? Let me know. Comment down below. Or you can hit me up on Instagram at Tropical Plant Party. I have the rest of my social media linked down in the description. You can follow me, I'll follow you back. It's a lot of fun seeing everybody's pictures and chatting with everybody and just getting to be plant nerds together. If there are any plants here in the group in this assortment that you think would be good to have spotlights on, or maybe want a lot more specific information, or maybe they've been challenging for you, let me know. I'd be happy to go in and talk about them. Oh, and if you don't mind, give the video a like. That thumbs up, it makes a big difference, helps the channel a lot, lets me know I'm doing a good job, and I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me, so thank you very, very much for doing so. And subscribe as well. I upload multiple times a week, so don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know when new videos come out. I'm gonna have fun cleaning up my plant racks, making room for these guys. It's cool though, need to do that anyways. I think I keep saying it, but I'm really excited to get planting with these guys. One of the nice things about houseplants, I love how they sort of help get me through the winter time when I'm really antsy. Sort of help satisfy that urge a little bit. Like I said before, say it again because I mean it. Hope everybody's doing well, having a great day, great life, and everything's just going beautifully for you. As always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye bye.